Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of the LPE Author Chat Series. This is a special edition of the Author Chat Series. I am Kimberly K. LaBoo. I am the CEO and founder of LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. Thank you for joining us this evening. I have been fighting through traffic to get to you guys, so sorry we're running a little bit late, but we're here now. And I am here with one of the most amazing, compassionate, patient, extraordinary women I know, who is the owner of Rescue Me Virtually. She is a virtual assistant and she rescues me almost daily. So I'm excited for you guys to meet her. She is here with us to talk about her chapter in Set Apart and Chosen, God Uses Ordinary Women to Do Extraordinary Things. So welcome, Mary Murrill, to the LPE Author Chat Series.
Thank you, Kimberly. I'm glad to be here. I'm nervous, but I'm glad to be here.
Oh, you are wonderful. I'm so excited because, yes, I did push you. You know, I push you a lot.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Only because you are so amazing, and I want everybody else to know just how amazing you are. So I even pushed you when it came to writing your chapter in this book because you shared your incredible story with me. Guys, look, I have known Mary for so many years. We went to the same church together in Maryland and just became such good friends. And Mary's chapter is called Standing Tall from a Seated Position. So I met Mary, and after years of knowing her, I got up the courage, because you don't really want to ask people. I got up the courage to ask Mary, had she been in a wheelchair all her life? So that's what Standing Tall in the Seated Position is about. Mary is in a wheelchair. And I found the courage to ask you about your story, finally. You know? And we had this conversation that just blew my mind. And I'm like, what? And so you have time out to pen this riveting story about your life and how you ended up in a wheelchair and what has happened since then. So again, welcome. So tell me, first of all, besides the fact that I kind of nudged you and said, I really think you should write for this project, what made you say yes? Because you didn't have to say yes.
That's true. I did. But when you first asked me about the first book, that was a challenge for me when I wrote the first one. You asked me to write the second one. It wasn't as hard since I already went through it. So it wasn't as hard to write the second one. But it did take me a while to turn it in, because just to go back over and think about exactly, you know, all that I had gone through and overcame. First, I want to say, to me, I was just living a normal life. To me, being in a wheelchair, I'm just normal. And, you know, and a lot of people don't see it that way. I never realized it until I started getting a lot of questions, or some people don't want to ask questions. They want to know, but they really don't want to ask the question. And I don't mind people asking. I have more kids come up and ask me than I will grown up, and some parents will say, no, don't ask that question. But to me, I welcome people to ask me exactly what happened to me, and I don't mind sharing my story. But I didn't have a problem saying yes, but it was something to go back through, because a lot of things I didn't realize until I started writing. You know, a lot of things I really did not realize, and some things I could smile about, and some things I'm like, wow, I really remember when I went through that. So I really enjoyed writing this story this time. I did.
Wow. Well, I enjoyed reading it, and it just blows me away when I think about what you went through. And we're not going to tell you guys everything.
Sharing.
You have to buy the book to read the story. But it's a story of, you know, first is shock, because when you told me, I think when you first told me, I was, you know, saying, oh, the what? And, you know, and are you kidding me? And so you went through that. And I think what's so beautiful, though, is how far you've come and your whole attitude about what you've been through. So that's what I want to talk about too, because there was a part in your chapter where you wrote about being in the hospital right after the incident and during your recovery period, and people would come to the hospital and you were like full of joy and you were excited and, you know, and encouraging them, and they were, you know, wondering like, how can you be so happy and you've just been through this tragic situation? So what was that for you? You know, that you that mindset, what was that mindset for you right after?
Well, to me, I know some people might not understand, but I was full of joy. I was so excited. I was so happy. I was happy because I was still alive. I was still living. I didn't have to. I could have lost my life, but I didn't. And for God to be able to spare my life, and for me to be able to see my family. And at that time, my daughter was still young. She was only about 3 or 4, and she was still young. So I got to be able to raise my daughter. So a lot of things I was just grateful for, grateful to see my mom, grateful to see my dad. So I was excited during that time. A lot of people didn't understand. So of course, when they came to the hospital, they didn't know what to expect. They didn't know what to say. I mean, I've been in a position where if I go to the hospital, I'm not sure what to say to the person because I never know their mindset. But when they did come into the room, they were shocked to see that I was up, I was alert, I was smiling, I was laughing, I was encouraging them, I had them laughing. So anybody came to my hospital room, they could not come with a sad face and depressed because I wasn't having. If I wasn't feeling that way, I didn't want them to feel that way. So I made people feel comfortable when they came to visit me. They, you know, I was the one encouraging them instead of the other way around.
Well, I just think that's incredible. I mean, it's a testament to your faith, your mindset, your will and desire to live. And I just think that is beautiful. And that's what still kind of comes through you and radiates from you even now. So I love that you and I are friends. I love that, you know, we are connected. And I'm so glad that we built that friendship. And I'm so glad that you allowed me to ask the question and then push you to tell the story. So, like, I think the biggest thing for me was, you know, other people need to hear this because there's so much in your story that can help somebody else from so many different perspectives. The mindset after going through something tragic, that mindset that you could talk to people about, and then just so many other aspects. I'm not giving the story away for real. Right. There's so much that you have to share that I think you just haven't even scratched the surface with. And I'm like, come on, Mary.
I know. That's a whole book. That's a whole book by itself, right?
And it's coming. It's coming. That's the next push. But I just think it's incredible. And one of the things you wrote about in the book, and it's funny because the editor, the person that edited the book, she was making comments the whole time while she was reading through the whole book about everybody's story. And there's a part in there where you talked about all the training that you had to go through in order to learn how to use the wheelchair. And you talked about the part where you had to learn how to pop a wheelie.
Right.
I'm like, pop a wheelie for what? And you explained, you know, okay, so you tell them about why did you have to learn how to pop a wheelie?
Pop a wheelie? Okay, yeah. I had to learn how to pop a wheelie so that I'll be able to get up on the curb and get off of a curb by myself. Because if I was ever out and rolling around in the street, every street corner doesn't have dips in it. Sometimes you have to get down off the pavement in the middle of the street. So you have to learn how to get down, and you have to learn how to hold your balance in the midst of getting down, because if you don't, you will fall. And I have not planned on falling. I cannot fall and be cute at the same time, right? And be graceful falling, right?
That is too funny. Yeah. So the editor wrote in the comments, she said, I never knew that. And I was like, I never knew that either. That, you know, who would think that hopping a wheelie was something that you had to actually learn in order to, you know, get around from day to day. But you learned how to drive. You go more than me. Like, I'm like, no, girl, I had to get up and go to so-and-so. I'm like, this lady is gone more than me. And so, you know, I just love your attitude about everything. And so now You've even gone on to, you've owned and been co-owner of a couple of businesses.
Yeah.
And so the business that you have now, like Rescue Me Virtually. So tell people a little bit about that.
Okay. Rescue Me Virtually, I started because when I was younger, I helped my dad with his business, and I like doing that. So as I grew and got older, you know, I met people in business, and I learned how to do even more things, whether it's administratively or just by helping people. When I did my research, I learned so much. So the first business that I really was a partner with was Lucas Transportation. And that was a limousine business. And I got to meet so many, you know, we got to interact with so many different stars and things. Wow. I'd love to do that. So once I came from that business, transition from that one, I started helping other people that were in limousine companies with their administrative work, with building websites for them, little things like that. So since I did that, that's when I discovered there was a lot of small businesses that needed help, but really couldn't afford office staff to come in on a regular basis. Yeah. So I decided to be a virtual assistant. And now I help other small businesses in whatever they need, their daily task with an S, whatever their daily tasks are. I help them with building their business. That is my heart's desire. I just want to see small business owners to be successful and not let little things like a website or social media, anything like that, to hinder them from continuing on, because your main focus needs to be building your business. A lot of that other stuff, you can just hand it off to somebody else so you can focus on building up your own business. So that's how I got to Rescue Me Virtually.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. So guys, that was a little inside joke about task with an S, because I'm always asking Mary, where is the S on the end of task? Stop. Yeah. So I bother her about that a lot. But all that is just phenomenal. So like I said, I'm just so grateful that you stepped up to this challenge, because I know I challenged you with this one. And I know that your story is just going to bless so many people who read it, and the impact is just going to be far and wide. And then I just can't wait to, you know, see what else you have coming next. I did want to backtrack a little bit to when you were talking about the actual writing of the story and what that was like for you. You touched on it a little bit, but what was it like for you to kind of revisit that whole thing in your story?
Well, it was a little bit challenging for me, especially when I had to go all the way back to when everything happened. You know what I mean? Because your life changes. It changes drastically. You know, one day you're running around, walking, talking, and doing things, and then next day you can't walk anymore. You know, so and then you have to go back and kind of relive that moment. It was a little bit touching. But I was glad that I got to go back to revisit that, because I had some good memories as well back during that time. So and it didn't take a lot just to get through, get through that time. It was still, I could just see how God still blessed me during that time, and sometimes I could just smile. Even times when I was in the hospital, I had days when I cried, but then I had days when I laughed, you know. So just to write the story, it was good. I was glad I was able to do that. And then I learned some more about myself, some things I didn't realize about myself. But just to be able to write that story and share it, I'm glad others will be blessed by it. I never thought that my story would be a blessing. To me, I'm just living just everyday life. I'm like, why is my story, you know, what makes me so special? But when I do share that with other people, they say the same thing, like, wow, you have so much to share. But I never saw it that way. So if my story can bless others, I'm quite sure it will, then I thank God for using me as a vessel. Even though I had to go through what I had to go through, I never know who's going to get blessed out of what I've gone through. Some people can't handle being in a wheelchair. Some people are suicidal. You know, their minds, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that I can be able to help somebody else that could be in that situation. And if my story can encourage them, well, thank you, Lord, that I'll be able to do that.
And so I don't think so, because I don't hear it. But was there ever a time when you were angry about your situation, or angry, you know, with God, or had that, you know, why me? Did that ever come up for you?
Never. Never, ever. I never had a bad day or just cried in the corner. I didn't. I was always grateful that God gave me the opportunity to live. That's the only thing. You know what I mean? The only thing I can think of is God, thank you. And every day I just say, God, thank you. Because I didn't have to be here. I didn't. But I'm so grateful for God for allowing me to live. Yeah, for giving me the breath of life. I mean, God, you could just praise him all day long just for that. You know, you could just praise him because, I mean, I could have been to the point where I could have been a quadriplegic. I might couldn't have moved my arms. You know, I could have been in a vegetative state. You know, I mean, anything could have happened. You know, I thank God. Some people have gone through what I've gone through and come through it and have gotten to walk. But I'm never looking at, well, wow, why couldn't it be me? I always look at people that are worse off than me and say, God, thank you. That could be me, you know, but I'm thankful and grateful for where I am. Yes, thank you.
That is incredible. Yeah. I love it. Wait till you guys read the story, though. And you know, and I guess because I know the story now, that's just what makes it seem like, wow, like for you to have that outlook and for you to have that perspective is just so amazing to me, and just shows how phenomenal of a woman you are, how extraordinary you are, and I'm so grateful to have you as a part of this project. I just can't thank you enough for saying yes.
Yeah, well, I'm grateful to be on this project and with the other phenomenal women that have come together to pull this project together. I'm excited. I'm just excited just to be on the platform with a lot of women. I look at them like, now I ask God, I'm like, God, why did you have me in this book? I'm looking at some of these phenomenal women. Oh my goodness. And I'm feeling like I'm just a little person, you know?
No, not at all. Not at all. You are just as phenomenal as everybody else, and people are going to see why when they read this book. So let's pause right there and tell people, the people who showed up to support you here today, where they can purchase the book from you. So give them your website for the pre-order campaign that we're in right now.
Okay, you can go to www.murrill, MURRILL.com to pre-order your book.
Give it to them one more time.
Sure. www.murrill, MURRILL.com.
Great, thank you. And so as we wrap up, good grief, we're getting ready to wrap up. But as we get ready to wrap up here, what advice would you have for someone who may have gone through a tragic situation like you, and they're hesitant about writing their story, when I know, you know, that their story may have such a great impact just like yours will? What advice would you give to them?
Wow. Ooh. I guess what I would say to them is write your story out before you, I mean, you write your story out, or what you can do, which I found was helpful, was ask people, what do they see in you? What do they admire about you? I mean, that will encourage you alone. When people start telling you what they see in you, that's an encouragement alone. That'll lift you up when people see, because you never know how people view you, because sometimes you view yourself in a negative way. You know, we can always be our worst critics. And sometimes we'll judge ourselves so harshly. But ask people, what do they see in you? I bet you they will not tell you. You will not think what they, you know, you will not imagine what they'll say to you. So I would tell you just to go and ask people, especially if you're in a place where you're feeling kind of down and, you know, down and depressed. And sometimes you don't want to relive those moments, but get somebody to take that journey along with you and show you the good points, you know? Yeah.
And I guess, okay, a follow on to that, since you just said that about not wanting to, you know, go back there and relive that. I always tell people that I believe that there is healing in writing.
That's true.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you do write, I mean, tears will come, but then the joy will come along the way as well. So that's true. That helped me with the second book, because the first one was kind of hard to get through that, but it was easier just getting through this one. So yes.
Wow.
And if you have somebody like you in their corner, then they can get it. Yeah.
I love it. I love helping women to, release their stories into the world, because again, they have such an amazing impact. And if you keep it in, then you're the only one who knows, and you don't know who needs your story in order to recover. So, and that's what I see with your story, is you allowing someone else to be able to recover because they've read your story and they can see how you made it through and how you pressed through and the mindset and attitude that you had that got you this far. Which is just amazing. So I want you to, again, I want you to give the website where they can order the book. And I also want you to give the website for your VA business too.
Okay, sure. It's www.murrill, MURRILL.com. My virtual assistant business is Rescue Me Virtually, www.rescuemevirtually, virtually.com, or you can do rescuemeVA.com.
There you go. And you can find her right here on Facebook too, right here on Facebook and all social media. Which are your social media? Is it the same across the board?
Yeah, Rescue Me Virtually for Facebook, and Instagram is Rescue Me Virtually. For Twitter is Rescue Me VA.
Okay. Okay. I want to get it all, because guys, really, if your website is screaming for help, seriously, you need to talk to Mary. For real. She is so patient and she is so smart. I feel like you was smart, you was kind, you was important, but
Thank you.
is just everything. Like, she has the patience of Job. Like, she'll say, Kimberly, all you need to do is this. I'm like, Mary, it's me. She's like, I got you. So just very patient, and she will help you to get to where you need to be. So don't, continue on with your website looking a hot mess. If it needs an overhaul, go to Mary's website, contact her somehow and let her save you. But
thank you.
ladies, whoever's watching today, be sure to get a copy of the book. Stop by Mary's website to grab, pre-order your copy of the book. We're in the pre-order campaign. And have you gotten, you had a special offer for those who ordered during the pre-order, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So you have, you're not there yet? You have more left?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So for the first people, Mary has special gifts. So you get an autographed copy of the book and whatever that special gift is that Mary has that she's going to be sending out to you guys. So make sure you head over to her page and pre-order your copy of Set Apart and Chosen. God uses ordinary women to do extraordinary things. So since we started late, I don't even know if we're over time or not, but I think we are. So I'm going to wrap it up, guys, and just say thank you so much for hanging out with us for this special edition of the LPE Author Chat series, which is the Anthology Edition, where we are interviewing the ladies that have written in the book Set Apart and Chosen. God uses ordinary women to do extraordinary things. We'll be right back here tomorrow at the right time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us again for another amazing interview with another amazing author. Thank you, guys. And as always, if you are thinking about writing your book, hop over to my website, www.LaBooPublishing.com, and let me know if I can help you to turn your dream of becoming a published author into a reality. Thank you, guys, for hanging in there with us. Take care. Be blessed. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.